to. We are here each and every Thursday from 6 to 8. DJ Swamp Thing and Tiffany L. I want to let you know that unfortunately DJ Swamp Thing is out today, but he is out for a very wonderful reason. He's taking care of his babies and his baby's presentation. So we want to big up him on that today. But we have a great show planned today, a very full show. We've got some great guests in the city. We'll be introducing some new segments as well. Starting off here in the next few, we have Rising Stars in the CO. We'll be starting with Christopher Felton, better known as Wooger. He is no newbie when it comes to talent and entrepreneurship in the city. Has definitely made some big things happen, big shows, things that I'm sure that a lot of people have been to and been a part of, but maybe didn't know who was running it, or maybe you did. He's going to be talking about how he built his business and continues to build his empire. Later on, we're going to be talking to Avion Johnson, finance guru, about building positive credit, both personally and in business, in our new segment, Money Moves. And then before the show ends, we have Todd Harper talking about how to stay fit and fab, why that's so important in the Black community. It's something that we have often neglected and we need to be taken care of, because Black people are dying far too often just from not eating the right things or not moving our bodies. So we definitely want to bring some attention to that, get everybody, taking care of themselves, because you can't make positive progress in this world without at least taking care of yourself first. So we're going to take a quick music break, and then we're going to be back with one of our guests.
Giovanni Cartel. Pasta ENT in the building. That's right. Yo, you know. Big E, baby. Summertime, nigga. Summertime, baby. Ride clean. Stay the fuck on the porch.
It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. I'ma smoke my kush, I'ma pimp my whips, I'ma ride a stunt with a badass bitch. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. It's hot out now and the ride clean. When the sun hit the chrome, it's gon' gleam. It's summertime again, y'all. You know you're both finna act up. Got them 34s on Pirellis and the TVs and the Challenger and the 15s hitting hard, dog. Being loud as fuck in the back rug. Got the 9 Glock in the stash box, playing Xbox on the plasma, and the steering wheel is wood grain, like the armrest and the dashboard. It's a two-door, so they pop up like a Lambo when I detour. Put the candy paint on B4. That clear coat is the last touch, so when I drive in the sun here, look like fruit punch in the glass cup with the chrome grill, chrome rims, chrome exhaust pipe with the chrome trim. Can't see the helmet test, so I'm gon' steal with a bad mother bitch wearing long hair, and I bounce to my music like I'm on pill. Got something for the haters, think they gon' steal, but I'm trying to have fun out here in the sun. It's summertime, so I'm gon' chill. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. I'ma smoke my kush, I'ma pimp my whips, I'ma ride a stunt with a badass bitch. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. It's hot out now and the ride clean. When the sun hit the chrome, it's gon' gleam.
It's summertime and I'm out of jail. I did my time, now I'm back, bitch. In the wintertime, I was in the cell, still on the yard doing trap shit. I wake up and get to that money. I rap it in second and hundreds. Not taking no losses, my circle of bosses get to it, we shine like the sun. I chop the whole pack till I'm done. The shippers, I give them the ones. We solid like diamonds before me headlining and killing you niggas for fun. Sip high tech with a gold mouth. Bring the whips out, cause them hoes out. If you book at Pasa ENT, we showing up to show out. Stick to the script, stay on my feet. Get to that money, fuck up the streets. Trap with the heat. It's a good summer for Big E. It's summertime, I'm on my grind. I'ma smoke mine, I'ma pop a pill, I'ma fuck your bitch, I'ma take a trip, I'ma cook a brick and I'm gon' chill.
It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. I'ma smoke my kush, I'ma pimp my whips, I'ma ride a stunt with a badass bitch. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long ride. It's hot out now and the ride clean. When the sun hit the chrome, it's gon' gleam. I'm fucking like people watching DVDs. Got the Glide 9 number for them hating thieves. Bad bitch walking up, asking Doobie G, can I chill with you in the club close at 3? I said, certainly. Know where I'm gonna be. Nationwide to hide the high Regency. Room 603 in the jacuzzi suite with an ounce of kush and a box of sweets. Man, the summertime rain go to how to free. Then all this keep it short, said it's a lot of cheese. I ain't trying to miss nothing, I ain't trying to blink. Man, I stay fresh, that's rugged down and lean. Pumping on some good pine, you know the kind of sting. When my chrome real, spending no time in sink. I'm trying to have fun out here in the sun. It's summertime, so I'm gon' eat. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long grind. I'ma smoke my kush, I'ma pit my whips, I'ma ride a stunt with a badass bitch. It's summertime, I'm gon' shine. It's like wintertime was a long grind. It's hot out now and the ride clean. When the sun hit the chrome, it's gold gleam.
The DJ your girl really loves. King 7. King 7. King 7, bitch.
Now I'm repping that motherfucking no side, nigga. No side, nigga. Yeah, D. 614, we in this bitch. I'm a Ohio nigga. No side gorilla, I stay right around my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Ohio nigga. No side gorilla, I stay right around my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it. Know it till I die. Columbus on my bio. Suckers better get my set, we get it in Ohio. Shout out Cleveland Ave, shout out to that Milo. What's a goddamn killers there, shoot it out with 5-0. That's the way you find me, but I used to be on D-Block. Chopping with them boonies there, make a fucking black hat. 1-4 and make you catch a case and feel the gunshot. Nigga rap that north and fuck the colors that your cool rock. My side so good we hood like nigga fuck a boondocks. Fifth Avenue cash and rubber bands, I carry 2 blocks. Cornell, so hell them niggas flaming up the whole block. No side and no side, we screaming niggas don't stop. TZ be crying, she be hustling around the damn clock. Fake nigga be quiet, you be lying, you don't get guap. Niggas stay riding, they be walking if the wheel stop. No side, the livers we be grinding, nigga not stop. Ohio nigga, no side gorilla. I stay right around my side of town, niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side, go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Ohio nigga. No side gorilla. I stay right around my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side, go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it.
Man, I'm from the number streets, 18th and Cleveland Ave. North side specialize in buying glad bags. Soul raw and untouched like 100 slabs. Where all dreams come true if you got the cash. Hands up, don't shoot, we don't do that here. I'm buck 50 through your nose, in between your ears. Ain't no cops shooting us without retaliation. They make a move, guess what? We'll just annihilate them. I've been on the north side my whole life. I've been beat up and shot at all over a bike. Nutty north, you go through that to earn your stripes. It's survival where I'm from, you better do it right. We gon' get it regardless, the grind never stops. The only side of town that got 2 crooked cops. No keys handed, we keep it all on lock. And real OGs stand alone and not in blocks.
Ohio nigga, no side gorilla. I stay right around my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side, go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Ohio nigga. No side gorilla. I stay right around my side of town. Niggas know I get it. I'm a Cap City nigga. No side, go get her. I stay putting on my side of town. Niggas know I get it.
Man, I try to lead a game. My city started falling. Got Michael Jackson fans. The women started crawling. People dying every day and the devil stalking. I try to walk away clean, but y'all make it harder. The big homies back don't care about the competition. I've been a damn threat. You others better pay attention. You ain't gotta do much. Just sit and listen. Viagra Glock 17, charcoal bay extension. Everything I do was real. Better check my moves. I wasn't always on top. Yo, I had to lose. Brought the city together. You gotta check the screws. Raven Capone. Yes, I'm the new Langston Hughes. Welcome to my hood. An OG with no first degree. So lost in my world and some shattered dreams. Nightlife paved the way. That is paying me. Bragg Incorporated had to cut the ENT. They try to cut a tree down, but I grew back. I'm like the Walking Dead, yeah, I had to come back. It's time to give me all mine, yeah, I need that. The man is here, pumped up, no run flats. They try to cut a tree down, but I grew back. I'm like the Walking Dead, yeah, I had to come back. It's time to give me all mine, yeah, I need that. The man is here, pumped up, no run flats. They try to cut a tree down, but I grew back. I'm like the Walking Dead, yeah, I had to come back. It's time to give me all mine, yeah, I need that. The man is here, pumped up, no run flats. They try to cut a tree down, but I grew back. I'm like the Walking Dead, yeah, I had to come back. It's time to give me all mine, yeah, I need that. The man is here, pumped up, no run flats.
Production.
All right, we're back on Breaking Ground Radio. Girl Tiffany L. DJ Swamp Thing is out, but he will be back next week. Do want to go ahead and hit a couple of Columbus news stories before I introduce our first guest. It looks like Republican legislators in Ohio will be getting ready to face a veto, or at least a fight maybe from Governor Kasich on the healthcare plan. I guess part of the beloved new healthcare plan that the Republicans are trying to push down is something basically that put a freeze on the expansion of the Medicaid plan, which will affect 500,000 Ohioans, basically causing them to lose coverage within the first 18 months of this plan. Obviously, that is not a good thing, being the governor and having to take care of the people. So he is looking forward to probably fighting that and seeking to go ahead and keep that expansion moving forward. And other local news in Mount Vernon, I guess a 9-year-old found a steel bolt, ordinary bolt. I guess she handed it over to her parents only to find out that there was a little secret compartment to this bolt that was hiding inside little bags of crystal meth and heroin. So people are getting quite creative with how they're hiding their paraphernalia and their drugs. The opioid use is getting far out of control in the city. And I know that they are, trying to crack down on that. But there are so many websites out here that are selling hairbrushes and all kinds of different kind of containers where you can hide different things. Meant, supposedly for, you to hide your personal items, or, maybe some money, maybe a key or something. You're going out and about and you don't want to carry too much things that are obvious, like a purse with you. But in fact, druggies are, using that to hide their stash. So that is something to be wary of. Definitely don't just let your baby pick up any old hairbrush these days. Moving right along, I also just got a flyer sent to me about the return of First Fridays. And I'm very excited about that. It's actually going to kick off tomorrow night with Miss Tommy Jones and Kanisha Danielle performing live. So that'll be amazing. I'm very excited to hear that this is back at the River Club. It was a long since staple that we used to have in the city, where it was meant to be, I believe, a dress up thing where you can network with other professional people. Turned a little bit, ratchet. We turned it basically into another place to go clubbing, and soon those nice evening gowns turn into jeans and skank outfit. So we're looking forward to the return, coming back a lot classier and sexier. And speaking of something coming back and returning, we have Mr. Christopher Felton. Say what's up.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Otherwise known as Booger. Definitely has been known as a staple in this city, has brought lots of entertainment and a lot of opportunities, more importantly, to a lot of artists and talented people around the city. So we are very excited to have him in the building. Hello, hello.
Hey.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So what's new in your world, sir?
Wow. My world's constantly changing. You know what I mean? So
Always.
Constantly got new things coming up and, popping up and stuff like that. But I guess right now I'm trying to gear up to do more promotions and events and, really get out and feel the people, once again, see what they doing, seeing what they about, and try to put the spotlight on the average everyday folks while they're going out, kicking it and having a good time and stuff like that. So, that's kind of like what I'm moving into. And then also trying to do more visual things like movies and, web series and, stuff like that. So.
Now, I happen to personally know that you did some big things out in LA. Can you shed some light on some things? I know you got on that good plane. You was out there shooting some things. What were you doing out in LA?
I got to connect out in LA. Her name is Monica Cooper, Make It Happen Entertainment. She's a movie producer. She got into the game as a casting director and an actress. So she did she was in a Posse, and then she did the casting for The Wash and Malcolm X and some other movies and stuff like that.
Nice.
So between her and her partner, they did a lot of urban type films that are hitting the market and stuff like that. So I got with her. She needed some website help and stuff like that. That's kind of what I do. I got Corporate Innovations, which is my website, graphic design, video production company that I have, multimedia company. And she needed some help with some websites and stuff like that. So I helped her out with the website. And then she was like, hey, we're about to shoot this film. Can you come out and, do the behind the scenes footage, interview the actors and, stuff like that. So I went out there, did that. That was a great experience. I saw how, the movie magic actually happened. You know what I mean? And what was good about the whole experience is it kind of affirmed a lot of the techniques that I was using in my own video production and things like that. So, it was dope. So,
nice. You have any plans to return or do anything like that? Any projects you can see on?
Actually out there, we're working on a comedy. I don't want to say tour as of yet because it's really just kind of one date now. We got out in LA. So we're going to do a comedy show and also kind of film it and do it a DVD release and that sort of thing. So
kind of like the Kings of Comedy.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So we're getting the funding in place so we can go after specific talent and all that good stuff. So hopefully that falls through and, that'll be the next thing I'll be, flying out there to do. And then hopefully I'm just kind of moving around a whole lot of different places. I got a couple of things going on with a record label in Atlanta. Actually, I also got this client in the Bahamas. Yeah.
So when are we going?
You feel me?
Right.
And it's and what's funny is
I can help do so many things. I can carry bags. I can talk. Right. I'm great. I'm great for a good dinner.
Yeah, everybody's putting in their bids. You know what I mean? But what's funny is that it's for an appliance company.
Okay.
They sell washers and stuff like that. I don't know if I can cuss, but
you can actually.
Yeah, boom. They sell washers and shit like that. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna finagle a trip to the Bahamas out of having to do a website for some dryers. I guess I'm a, you know what I mean?
You're creative. I believe in you.
I'm gonna need to be in the in the Bahama vibe. I can't really design the site without having my feet in the sand type of thing. You know what I mean? I'm about
with a drink in the hand.
Wow. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kinging it, right. Sunshine, and you know what I mean? So we'll figure something out. Try to get that popping off. But yeah, I'm just trying to really travel all over and just, you know, help service different people out in different cities, and then also bring my city to those different places, hopefully giving opportunities to different people, different creative people doing like, if you're an actress and trying to get into movies, if you're a producer and you got music and can score out some stuff, you know what I mean? Just different things. So, you know, just trying to get more fit in.
And what I love most about what you do is that you always say that you can help anyone because of what you actually do. You can bring a lot of attention to any kind of business. So explain exactly, I guess, what kind of, you know, offerings that corporate innovations can really bring to a business. What things, how, like today I want to open up this kind of company.
I think you told me you had more guests. I don't think we got enough time to go. It's like that. I'll be here all day. But now, basically, what we can do is really take your business from beginning to end, from conceptual to developmental to expansion to evaluation. We can do any business in any industry and apply certain principles to it to improve its marketing, improve its infrastructure, improve its market share, and definitely tackle this new beast of social media that everybody's trying to say, like, oh, should I be on Snapchat or YouTube or, you know, whatever, you know, just come to corporate. I got all the answers. But just, you know, come with your checkbook. You know?
And word.
I'm just saying.
Visions are not free, people. Come on.
Not at all. So, you know, just so income tax time rolls around and stuff like that, bring those checks to me and, you know, I get you together. I can get you on BET. I can get you on, you know, any of the cable networks and stuff like that. If you want to be on billboards, if you want to be in newspapers, magazines, like, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, I'm able to enhance and expand that on any level. Like, if, you know, you don't have that much money, you got to bring some money. Like, don't come like saying like, yo, I don't have no money, I'm looking for somebody to work with me. I won't call you back. I won't answer your emails, nothing. It'll be a wrap.
You heard it here first, folks.
Boom. It's your man corporate. Listen up. So, you know, I mean, but whatever your budget is, big or small, I could put something together as long as you're willing to be consistent about it. And that's the thing about business that people got to understand is that consistency is your greatest tool. Like, there's been times, like, I got different business cards out there. I had different, you know, business names from, you know, I4I Entertainment to Wooger to Corporate Innovations, but I've always had the same phone number. So when people give me a call, you know, they're still reaching, well, you know, kind of reaching me, you know what I mean? I don't answer my phone that well, but, you know, they call and they leave a message, boom. I hit them back, or they shoot me a text message, you know, I can hit them back, but I'm still doing the same things. I'm still providing the same services, flyers, graphic design, websites, you know, exposure, media buying, business plans, whatever.
Nice. Okay. Well, we're going to head into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I want to get into a funny story. I want you to tell me about one of your craziest clients or the best experiences that you have had as of late or any time in this business. I know that working with everybody in the CEO and everybody wants to be a rapper instantly. They're going to the next future. I'm sure that comes with some sort of entertainment.
Yeah, no problem,
so I look forward to hearing one of those stories.
I'll drop names too.
Word.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so crazy. Okay. So we're doing crazy.
Mistakes. Yeah. Can you deal with my bullshit? Can you love me through my flaws? Text me in the late night, I'll screen you if you call. I done told myself I'm a dog, I won't catch you if you fall. I can't sing the same old song about how an ex and did me wrong. I got too much on my plate, it's okay cause I like the pressure. I keep a loaded strap in my truck, I keep Hennessy on my dresser. I got naked pics in my phone, from an ex I ain't delete yet. I told her I couldn't fall in love, I was satisfied with just deep sex. I know that life is too short, so I can play with your heart and only stay cause it was your choice. You already knew what it was, but you tried to tame me. But girl, I made up my mind that there ain't no changing. And I got so much more to say. And I There's so much in my way. I gotta let go of things I can't change. So much going on, I gotta stay in my lane. I've been on my own, I had to deal with my pain. But still, girl, you're all that matters to me. You see the look in my eyes, I'm numb to the pain, I can't cry. I see so much going on, and one of my homies just died. I've been through more than you know. You see the weather so cold. See you can pray or worry. God told me never do both. I know the life that I chose ain't no riches on roads that I travel. I could've so dope. I was so close to it, look, I could taste it. I'm telling you, I had my hand on the pole. Wasn't no food on my plate, all I had was a knife and a spoon with a fork in a roll. Young niggas ballin' ain't going to church when it's hard to believe what the pastor was told. Right now I'm in the struggle trying to live right. I don't know when I'ma get right. Gain weight trying to stack cake. Now my jeans don't fit right. Me and bro had a big fight. I screened his calls, ain't answer text. We ain't even blood, but that's my blood, and that's why it hurt. He played me to the left. Now loyalty mean a lot to me, so you can't choose when to fuck with me. My ex was mad and broke up with me. I said that's my past catching up to me. Damn, that's my past catching up to me. Damn. I gotta let go of things I can't change. So much going on, I gotta stay in my lane. I've been on my own, I had to deal with my pain. But still, girl, you're all that matters to me.
Know to keep my mind right. Fighting with these demons every day and night. What's the meaning for this life? These paper planes keep me flying with the kites. With the kites. Know to keep my mind right. Fighting with these demons, searching up and down, looking for a damn reason. What's the meaning? Spinning around inside of my head. My thoughts are all fucking dead. Stealing time like I'm thieving, picking scabs off these fucking lesions. All these politicians out here teaching a better life is what they preaching, but it is what it is. Gotta do what I gotta do to feed my kids. Hitting them bricks to get them chips, but I can't seem to bring myself to get a grip, so I light it up with a chocolate Dutch and burn it on down from the fucking tip. Exhale all my worries right up off my lips. What is the meaning of this? Give me a little insight on what it is. Know to keep my mind right. Fighting with these demons every day and night. What's the meaning for this life? These paper planes keep me flying with the kites. With the kites. Know to keep my mind right.
I woke up, barely even get sleep. Bitches calling niggas always talking, make me wanna go and get a dream. Look, collectors on it, trying to chase them on it. Notice every silence, see through every one. Need some peace of mind, I'm tired of feeling lonely. Please, someone say a prayer for me. Love, stress, trying to cope with this depression. What's the meaning of this life? Am I off in the right direction? Did a whole lot of my mistakes, got a whole lot on my plate. Tell them I'm trying to be great, but I think I'm in my way. You know what pain, Lord knows I'm trying to keep it together in this weather gone in storm. I'm praying I can get through whatever's holding me. I can see what's wrong. You don't know the cards have been dealt.
been killed the way that I felt. Just be with nobody else. Had to go hard for myself. Trying to stack up my wealth. Still look out for my health, but I still do my demons.
And only keep my mind right. Fighting with these demons every day and night. What's the meaning for this life? These paper planes keep me flying with the kites. With the kites. And only keep my mind right.
Evolutionary beats.
Yeah, it's your boy QG, sending love out to all my Midwestern states, you know what I mean? Atlanta, GA, Detroit, Michigan, Gary, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio. Yo, this song goes out to all these bitch ass niggas coming to our cities and thinking they doing it real big, you know what I mean? Hey, I got a shout out for that nigga Cameron. Yo, bitch nigga, this is for you. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in that Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, that state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in that Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, that state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. Let me tell you about that city I'm from, in the Midwest, where my niggas walk around trapped with vest tied to their chest. I'm from Columbus, aka 614. That's right, the bus. Stopping bricks and fucking chicks on the daily. My city rough. We get that money in the hood of the birds. I'm pushing bricks to white chicks who flip my product after them being served. I'm on the block without no hesitation, watching them coppers ride by while I'm serving medications to patients. A lot of out of town niggas pop up claiming they tough guys, but in the end, y'all gon' bow down to these buck guys. Stop frontin' when you come to my hood, you disrespectful niggas. You're out of place, send my orders or they'll pull them triggers. Next time you come to Ohio or any of our cities, just remember my name, cause y'all gon' have to fuck with me. It's time for Ohio to stand up and take back his crown. I'm shooting on sight and laying all y'all niggas down. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in the Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in the Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. I'd rather be judged by 12 and carried out by 6. And just like the West, I'm steady shooting from the hip. I'm quickly busting on any nigga that's running up. I'm like King J when I'm shooting, lighting your niggas up. You'll hear that rat-a-tat-tat, let's play a game of goose. You better start ducking or end up dying in the booth. I represent every city, not just my fucking home. From Cincinnati to Dayton, we take care of our own. We shooting first, asking questions later out in the field. And if you're acting suspicious, you'll get your cap peeled. I'm on the mission, dismissing all out of town figures. You better think twice or end up in the ground, nigga. It's just a matter of time after I set the price. Body snatchers will come and terminate your fucking lives. I warn you niggas time after time, but you hadn't learned. When fucking with fire, your ass gon' end up getting burned. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in the Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. I get it in Columbus, I get it in Atlanta, I get it in the Motor City, yeah, in Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. Now go ahead and keep hating me playing, cause all this hating's gonna get you nowhere it's at. Tied to a radiator, praying that I see you later. Out in the streets or at the club, it won't matter, cause I'm about to fill your ass with slugs. I'm bringing back the Midwest, cause I'm my brother's keeper. Cross me once, I'll introduce you to them street sweepers. It's all about how much money, power, and juice you got. No matter the cost, I'm back to claim my fucking spot. I'm headed down to Atlanta to score a pound of trees. Just tell me how much you want and I'll fulfill your needs. I got that white, yo, tan, yo, black tar, gray stream, silver burner, purple flip, top it off with great boost. I flow like a monthly nigga, but you can't crack my style. So sit back, relax, take notes on how the money piles up to the fucking ceiling. No matter where I'm at, up in the Midwest, shackled down is always in the building. I can see it in Columbus, I can see it in Atlanta, I can see it in the Motor City and Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell. I can see it in Columbus, I can see it in Atlanta, I can see it in the Motor City and Indiana. I represent Ohio, the state that never fails. I see y'all niggas hating, and y'all can go to hell.
All right, we're back on Breaking Ground Radio on WTMH Live. So we were just catching up with Mr. Felton, hearing all about what he can bring to the table with corporate innovations and how he can build your business. But I know that he has experience with some crazy stories and working with people in Columbus. So shoot us.
Let me see. I got a lot of well, what you got to understand is that, like, in my line of business, I'm dealing like with people's dreams and stuff like that. So, you know, people take things kind of personally and things like that. And I'm also dealing with broke folks. So that breeds a whole nother you know what I'm saying, a whole nother thing. But I guess one of the craziest things that was said to me, a customer came in and was like, I was doing the studio, I was running studio time. I was doing studio time at the time, having a recording booth and stuff like that. So he came in and he asked me like why I was charging him because I had already bought the equipment. Like he was like, since you already got, I was like, I don't understand why you charging me because you already got the equipment. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to go out and buy anything. This is that and the third. And I was just, you know what I mean? And I couldn't even really explain to him, you know what I mean? Not that I couldn't explain to him why I was charging him, is I just didn't really, you know, want to. Yeah,
like, it should be obvious. I already bought the equipment.
Like,
that's the point.
Like, yeah, there was so many like
equipment you didn't have.
Right. You know what I mean? Like I still got utilities. I still got rent. You know what I mean? You're not charging my bad. My time, you know what I mean? Not paying for my time. I mean, like a whole lot of shit. So, you know, I didn't really want to explain to him. So that was like one of the craziest things I was like ever said to me. Then I had this other experience, man, with this one cat, man. His name was Cool Swag. K-O-O, yeah.
Stop, you gonna spell it.
Because it's not cool. I just making sure everybody knew it was Cool Swag. You know what I mean? So I brought the dude in or whatever, and I was like, look, I'm taking you underneath my wing. You know what I mean? I'm introduce you to my contacts and, you know what I mean, give you advice and stuff like that and help you, you know, get your thing on board. I got 3 rules. Three simple rules.
3 rules. Word.
Simple rules, okay? I was like, don't make promises you can't keep, like speak bigger than what you are. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, just do the things that, you know, I asked you to do. You know what I mean? Number 2. And then I forget what the third one is. It's like slipping my mind right now what the third one was. But this nigga broke all 3 within like an hour. Like within an hour, like he broke like all 3. Like he was making promises like, oh, I can get the whole crew into questions. It's nothing. Like he was like, yo, what you do with questions? He was like, oh, nigga, I do everything. I do booking. I do the schedule. I run the door. Sometimes I'm security, bartend. I was just looking at this little nigga like really? Like what? So, you know what I mean? Like within, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's like, and then, okay. And then like certain things that like make me like really not call you back like ever. If you talk about, hey, I'm looking for a team to get behind me, I'm not calling you back. If you're saying like, hey, I got really big ideas, I got really big dreams and stuff like that, but I'm not working right now, I probably won't call you back. Yeah, I'm not a finance guy. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like get you the bread. I'm just really gonna like point you. I'm gonna point you in the right direction, and I'm gonna tell you how to spend your resources wisely and things like that. But I'm done with the whole charity case. I know a lot of people, and if I'm gonna do something free, I got a lot of my own people that I can do free stuff for. That I'm gonna do free stuff for. So they're taking it up. So don't come at me, thinking I'm gonna be your team. And put you. It's not gonna happen. So
you're not the financier. You are not the bank.
Yeah, I'm not.
You are not.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Say word.
Not that guy.
All right, now you yourself are launching a brand new, or I guess an addition to your business, or I don't know how you would best describe it, but what's going on with that? What you got coming up next?
Well, basically, it's a visual media outlet. It's called the Biz Network. And we're going to focus on visually expressing, our ideas and thoughts. So it's going to be like through commentary videos and clips. It's going to be through funny skits. It's going to be through web series. It's going to be through movies, short films, and feature lengths and stuff like that. So I'm just going to I'm getting my team together to really be able to develop all this content on a consistent basis, and then we're going to launch it and then, see where it goes from there. All
right. Nice. All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. Go ahead and drop your social media so everybody can holler at you.
Well, you can catch everything through corporateinnovations.biz. You can contact me through there, through the contact form, see some samples of work and stuff like that. Most of my social media is for the online radio station, WGR. So if you hit me up at WGR, just search WGR everything. So Twitter /WGR, Facebook /WGR, Instagram and YouTube. So, just get at me, let me know what your dreams, what your aspirations are, what it is that you're trying to do, and just have in mindset how much you're willing to spend. One of my mentors once told me that if you're not willing to put in 20 hours a day and $10,000, then, being an entrepreneur really isn't for you, because those are the type of sacrifices you're going to have to make. And I don't necessarily mean putting in $10,000 right now, but believe me, my nigga, eventually we're going to get there and past it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to be, willing to do. So
constantly you have to be able to reinvent yourself, definitely, as technology continues to advance. So definitely I appreciate that. If you are looking to build a business or, promote your business or get it expanded, this is the man to talk to. So definitely hit him up at Corporate Innovations. That is CORPORATEINNOVATIONS.biz. For all those people who had trouble spelling.
Right.
So actually, this is a great segue because for those people who are low on those funds and maybe your credit is not looking too good and you're like, oh man, I got these big dreams, I got these big plans, but Corp said I couldn't come with no bread. What can I do? We have the man for you. We got Avion Johnson here. We are very excited about that. He is our finance guru, and we are moving into Money Moves. This is our latest segment on Breaking Ground Radio, and he is going to get us some information and some helpful tips on how we can build our personal and business credit. So we want to welcome him to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So what can we do? I know that there are a lot of, feel like people who are, man, I have these great ideas, but this is what I'm working with, and I don't know how to stop working for the man, but still be able to make things happen. So what do you find are the biggest pitfalls or struggles that people present you with when they're trying to, build things?
It's a couple things, I guess. You got entrepreneurs, people who are working maybe 9 to 5s, and they always want to stop working for the man, and they want to do their own thing. But a lot of things, the number one thing that stops us from moving on is a lack of funds. Like, it costs money to make money. You got to put in some investment initially, and a lot of times we don't have that initial investment, or we don't have enough. We might be able to get it started, but we can't, take it to where we want it to be. You know what I mean? We don't have enough we don't have enough access to capital to make that happen. Whether it's because we made some life decisions and our personal credit is being affected, and we can't go that route, or we just don't have those funds. So I guess what I like people to know is there is an opportunity regardless of your personal credit. So I said yesterday or a couple of days ago at the event, I don't care if you got a 300 credit score, which I've been in financial services for over 16 years. I've never seen a 300 credit score, but I don't care if you have a 300 credit score, you can still build business credit. There's two separate entities. You have, just like you have a social security number tied to your personal, your business has an EIN number that's tied to that business. And you can actually build credit using that EIN number without using your social security number. So the business can really build its own credit, have its own credit cards, have its own, it can stand on its own as far as credit worthiness. So what I try and get people to understand is it's not fake. I mean, it's real. I got business credit. I have vendors and credit cards that I use for my business that they're not tied to my personal anything. They don't show up on my credit report. I didn't put my social security number on the application. None of that. It's totally a business thing. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely doable. And any entrepreneur or business owner, period, should be looking at growing their business or creating that business profile, that business credit profile on its own. We want to, as business owners, when we start a business, a lot of times we're using our personal funds or we're using our personal credit to get that business started because we just know we can't fail. This thing is going to be sweet. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna charge up, whatever it costs. This is what I'm going to do. And then, you run out of money. You know what I mean? You run out of money, so the business doesn't do what you said. But because you did it on your personal, either now you depleted your savings, or you ran up your credit cards for a business that's not producing anymore. So now you're caught up paying back debt that you have no way of recouping any of the costs that you or the expenses that you accumulated. So with business credit, that allows you to kind of just kind of put a wall up and separate those two. We need to do it for our families. We need to put as much risk away from ourselves and let our business, take on that risk. I talk to people all day who have personal credit issues, and a lot of times, a lot of their personal credit issues comes because they had a business that didn't go as planned, and now they have collections. Those credit cards go to collection, and now their personal credit is affected, so now they can't get a house, or they're paying higher interest rates on cars and things like that. So business credit is, the new slice of bread, and it's not really new, but just getting the knowledge out there of how people can access it and build it up and maintain it is what I try and help people understand.
Got it. Okay, so now I guess, why do you feel like this is so important to the Black community? I mean, I can say, I feel like there's not enough businesses out there, or maybe there are, but maybe they're just underfunded or undersupported, or however, they just can never get past the one level to become a successful business, a well-known, brand name, I guess, out there. What do you think is lacking? Is it just that this information is so hidden that we're not sharing it enough? Is it that, we should be taught it in school? I guess, what would you suggest? What do you think? Question.
So business credit is not new. It's been around for decades. So it's not a new thing, but banks don't want you to know that you can actually build credit in a business name. They don't want you to know that because, for example, you go into a bank and you try to apply for something in your business name. So one of the first things you see on the application is they ask you for your social security number. So when you apply for that, whatever it is, you're trying to get $10,000 from a bank, you put in your application, you want it in your business's name, and they tell you no. But they don't tell you why. Why can't my business get approved? Well, you don't have any business credit. Well, how do I start building business credit? How do I get business credit? How do I get credit for my business? They try and steer you towards, they'll say no to your business credit, but they'll say, hey, I got a credit card for you that you can have on your personal credit. I have a line of credit for you that you can have on your personal credit, because they want to tie you personally to that debt. 80% of businesses fail within a 10-year span, you know. So, and banks know this. So they know every 10 people that come in their door, 8 of those people are going to fail. So they don't want to tie a bunch of their assets to a business that can go out of business, file bankruptcy, and they cannot touch it anymore. You know what I mean? They want to tie that to a person, an individual. So if that business has failed, then that person still has to deal with that debt. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it isn't, you know, widespread knowledge. It's not like, you know, you got all these do-it-yourself credit monitoring. You know, everybody's talking about credit. What's your personal credit score? You hear nothing about that for business, because they don't want you to know. Because they want you to really tie yourself personally to that business. To that business. So for us as a community, it's ultra important that we know that there are alternatives, and having challenged personal credit shouldn't hold us back. You know, it doesn't have to hold us back. Things that are important when you're building business credit, just a few key points. You want to make sure your business is credible. So when I say credible, in our program, we spend a lot of time on credibility and just making sure the business is credible. If I come to you, Tiff, and I say, well, you know me. If you don't know me, and I'm sharp, I'm in a 3-piece suit, nice shoes, jump out a nice car, and I say, Tiff, hey, how about you lend me $1,000? I'll give you $1,200. You're like, okay, you look credible, you know?
Right.
I don't have a problem with giving you that. But if I come up to you, shoes busted, look like I ain't took a shower in 2 weeks, hair all over the place, nappy, whatever. Tiff, yo, can I get that $1,000? You don't get away from me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that same credibility thought process applies to banks and lenders when they're trying to give a business credit. So you want to make sure your business is credible. Some things that you want to do to make sure your business is credible. You want to have a business name that makes sense. My company's name is Credit Reinventors. If I would have started over, knowing what I know now, I probably would have chose a different name, just because as my company name, it kind of puts me in a corner. Like, I do credit. That's what I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a business. Chosen something a little more broad, because now we're doing more than just personal credit. We're doing business credit. We're doing business consulting. We're doing business. We're helping business getting finance. So we're doing more things, but my company name is Credit Reinventors. That kind of puts me in a corner. So you want to be careful about the name that you pick. You want to make sure you have a website, a web presence. You want to be using, you want a business website and a business email address. That's important. You don't want to be using hotboy@gmail for your business. You know what I mean? That's not going to look good.
No, that's so important. I think a lot of people don't think about that. That's good.
Yeah, no, a lot of people, and you'd be surprised, a lot of people, have businesses, successful businesses, and they're still using Gmail accounts. It only costs like $12 to get business email accounts. It's not, it's not a great expense, but you look credible. You don't go to Walmart and email the a manager at Walmart at their Gmail address. You know what I mean? It's at Walmart. That's what we're trying to create. You want to appear credible. Period. So you want to have a website. You want to use your email. Another thing that was important is your addresses. So when I started my business, I had the business address that I filed with the Secretary of State. Then I had an address that I was using for my bank account, then an address for my tax ID and EIN number. You want all that stuff to be the same. Like, it's important for all that, because you don't want somebody looking at your application. The first thing they're going to do is the same thing we do when we meet somebody off the street, is Google them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What is this person about? So if they Google you and you got 3-4 different addresses coming up and you're asking them for a certain amount of money, it already raises a red flag, like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So you want to make sure all your addresses are consistent, even down to the period. If you use one for abbreviating streets, things like that, is very specific. So you just want to make sure you use the same exact spelling, address all the time. Another thing I had to do was phone number. So you don't want to use a cell phone number for your business. There are plenty of, one resource that we use is one resource that I use is called, and the name just escaped me. I can't remember the name of the company I use, but they're awesome.
I like them too.
Right. They are awesome.
That's okay. It'll come back to you.
Yeah, it will. But you want to have a phone number that is, when I first started my business, I had an 800 number, right? Trying to be credible. Make you look like I have a national presence, right?
Absolutely.
So what I found out was you don't have to have an 800 number. Right now, toll free. I mean, everybody dials long distance for free. So 800 number isn't necessary. What you do want to have is your number listed with National 411. The reason that that's important is some, not all lenders, will, while you're on the phone with them applying for credit, they will verify whether your company is listed with National 411. So when I say that, that means if you dial 614-555-1212, they're going to give you the name. I mean, they're going to give you the address and phone number for that company that's listed with National 411. So you want to make sure your business is listed with National 411. That's important. I can't remember the name of it. I love them too.
I know when I first was getting started with my event planning company, I got a Google number just because it seemed like the safest way to, since it still kind of ties to your phone. Right. Does your company kind of do that where it ties to your actual cell phone where it'll ring up as your company? But
they do. Ring Central. That's the name of the company. Thank you, Ring.
You're welcome. Ring Central. Okay. Ring Central. Yeah, because that's what I like about Google is that Google number is that I can always see that it's not like my friends and family. So I know how to get that good greeting, like, hey, yo. Right. Like that's no good.
Right. You're right. You answer phone. Yo.
What's good?
Hello, this is Tiffany.
Right. And let me tell you how there were definitely some times where I had to change my voice up real fast, like from just, the people that you're dodging. Right. Maybe just me, I don't know, that I'm dodging bill collectors versus people I actually do want to talk to or I'm trying to build business with. Right. And that's never a good, let me get her just a second. Absolutely. So definitely, okay, Ring Central sounds like a good way to go.
Yeah, Ring Central. And even with Google numbers, while you touched on that, you can't list a Google number with National 411.
Okay.
So there are certain, like, I think they call them VOPs or VoIPs or certain phone numbers, voice over internet, something. That's what it is. Okay. There are certain numbers that you can't list with National 411. They won't let you. Ring Central, however, they're cheap and they have numbers that can be listed with National 411. They're a great resource for any business owner, entrepreneur. Other than that, you want to make sure you have business licenses. If you need to have a license for your business, then have a license for your business,
Why are there some businesses that do and versus don't? Like, is it just the type of business?
Yeah, it's like if you're a plumber, you need to be licensed.
Oh, right. What I mean? Yeah, versus like certified or whatever.
If you're maybe you got a street car and you're selling food, you still need some type of licensing to be able to sell. You know what I mean? But Barbara, I can't even think of I got a client that's an auto body shop. He doesn't need a license to have an auto body shop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you have to have a license, then get a license. Let's as a community, let's stop doing business and let's just be in business. Let's just, you know what I mean? There's too often that, you got a guy that does plumbing or electric or whatever, and he just does it. He does it very well, but he just does it. Like, let's make that business grow. Let's get him let's allow that individual to train other individuals so they can so we can grow as a community. just be in business. So those are some things that we can do to make the business credible. That'll help just overall.
Nice. Okay. So we definitely touched on, I mean, those are some excellent points and a lot of stuff that I definitely didn't know, which I'm definitely going to hit my man back up, Corporate Innovations, about making sure that we're taking care of all those things on the event planning side for sure. Okay. So definitely, like, when people want to, I guess, what do you suggest that people have when they come to Credit Reinventors? Like, what do they need to have already in place? I have my business, or I have a business idea. Do they need to have a business plan? Do they need to have, how much do they need to have thought out through before they come to you?
If you have a desire and passion, then those are the number one things. Like, you have to be, you have to have passion and desire. Like, we're not a not-for-profit, obviously. I mean, there's some cost involved. There's some expense involved with what we do. But you know, what I was just telling somebody today, people afford what they want to afford, period. You know what I mean? If you're passionate enough about it, if you're serious enough about it, then you will make it happen regardless of, and I'm not saying it's astronomical, we don't charge like crazy numbers, but it's not cheap. You know what I mean? We guarantee that we're going to get you $50,000 in business credit, you know what I mean? With different vendors, stores, and different things like that. Like, so you got to be ready to be all in on your business. That's what you're going to do. I mean, when I saw the opportunity, I jumped on it like that, like, because I knew, like, I don't got no money, but I know I need to build my business credit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, so you really just got to be serious about your business, about growing your business, about, I mean, just take it serious. Like, I don't care if you have a business plan or not. I mean, we do all that kind of stuff for you, you know what I mean? But you just got to really be serious about the process, about really starting a business. That's the main thing that I look for in somebody.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go on a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I definitely want to just wrap up with Avion on making sure that we are business ready as a people. Ready, you know, we've got these ideas, but what can we do? And he's given us a lot of great points on making our business credible. How can we get that $50,000? And in addition to that, you know, what all does Credit Reinventors do? We're going to touch on that. And just a couple days ago, they had a great event where they partnered up with, is it CUL?
CULYPA.
Okay.
Columbus Urban League Young Professional Association.
Yes, it's a mouthful right there, but they do a lot of great things in the city, and we definitely want to make sure that everybody is aware of everything that they are doing and how you can get involved yourself and build your own business. Breaking Ground Radio.
Hey. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. They want a four trying to hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. They want a four trying to hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. They want a four trying to hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. They want a four trying to hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Hit me a lick, hit me a lick. Promise you, bitch, I'ma hit me a lick. Promise you, I done been broke as a get. I done sold up with the roaches and shit. He want a 20, I give him a 10. Bitch, I finesse him and do it again. Do it for money, don't do it for friends. So rare junkie, let's see my kid. Chasing this money, I made it to win. Get in my way, you won't do it again. 2 bullets, they knock off your chin. I spin a block, then my bullets gon' spin. And if I'm spinning, my niggas gon' spin. Bullets gon' hit you from ankle to chin. Bullets gon' hit you from ankle to chin, from ankle to chin, from ankle to chin. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. He want a four tryna hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. He want a four tryna hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. He want a four tryna hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going on the whip. He want a four tryna hit me a lick. Promise you I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. I swear I'm as hot as it get. Bitch, I'm as hot as it get. Promise y'all bitch with the life for this fit. Bitch with the life for this fit. I swear I'm as hot as it get.
Bitch, I'm as hot as it get. Palm top bitch with the lot for this fit. Look at my kicks, they expensive as shit. Used to wear ankles and dickies and shit. Now my jeans come with zippers and shit. You might not like me, but look at your bitch. She look at your bitch, how she looking and shit. You might not like me, but look at your bitch. Look at your bitch, how she looking and shit. All of my guns come with attachments and shit. All of my guns come with attachments, get hit. Give me the keys, I'm going to the whip. Hit me with 4 tryna hit me a lick. Promise you, I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going to the whip. Hit me with 4 tryna hit me a lick. Promise you, I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going to the whip. Hit me with 4 tryna hit me a lick. Promise you, I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick. Give me the keys, I'm going to the whip. Hit me with 4 tryna hit me a lick. Promise you, I'ma be gone for a grip. I won't be back till I hit me a lick.
No, I'm coming, man. Fuck with y'all, man. It's time to wake the city up. Y'all be sleeping on me. Hey.
I can't breathe out of sight, I can't see the whole world's crashing down on us. Please believe if there's no hope, if there's no devotion, there's no way to change it. It's just all emotion. I'm out of breath, I can't breathe. I'm out of sight, I can't see the whole world's crashing down on us. Please believe if there's no hope, if there's no devotion, there's no way to change it. It's just all emotion. Through my eyes, I see my life. Do that boy is suicide. All this pain I sit and take. Don't need no love to show I'm great. Cause you show opposite with fate. I've had it for years, all the blood, sweat, and tears. You still act like I'm not here, but I do it for me, so I don't care. Try to get my city up out of here. City of kings, we destined, yeah. So get loose, let's hear a cheer. As I reach out to every peer. Don't be afraid of what you fear. Take it and use it, put it in gear. All my raps come back as real. So let me tell you how I feel. I'm dedicated and took my time. My heart goes out in every line. It's more to me than just a rhyme. In this game, I'm intertwined. More than an outlet to ease my mind. Never said it's easy. I'm stuck here waiting for the time. And if I fail, will I be fine? I don't know, but I see the signs that I will succeed with mine. Really don't need a reason why. Tomorrow's not promised and neither am I. But I continue with my strive to make music and a better life. Things always happen and people cry. My soul is free and here to fly. I'm out of breath, I can't breathe. I'm out of sight, I can't see. The whole world's crashing down on us. Please believe if there's no hope, if there's no devotion, there's no way to change it. It's just all emotion. I'm out of breath, I can't breathe. I'm out of sight, I can't see. The whole world's crashing down on us. Please believe if there's no hope, if there's no devotion, there's no way to change it. It's just all emotion.
Yeah, me shit. Yeah.
Fine.
I ain't got no place, I ain't stop. I don't fuck with you, bitch, you ain't pop. Pushing perfectly made me a profit. Now I'm mixing ball man with Versace. If you don't know my struggle, don't knock. At the top, but I came from the bottom. Try to beef with my niggas, I got the stick, I'm aiming your noggin.
See, this for the one that got it. So I went and clicked up a mind. That they got the spot in your kind. Now these hoes get wet like a fire. Trying to turn it back, that's when I give me head. The pussy got my lead up, that bitch on the couch. Paper planes, got me hot like a potty.
Make it rain, all you bitches get wet. You a stain, you be getting finesse. Middle man ain't acting like they connect. Jeff pay for life, being me to the chef. Niggas plans got me high as the jet. Free the real, there ain't too many left. Put the dope in the pot, watch it melt. Don't need no help, I can do it myself.
I'm number one like Desire. If you ain't talking money, never mind your G's. Moving silence like we miming. You know I can't fuck with many niggas. Cause most these motherfuckers lying. Bitch, I keep a check, no Verizon, yeah. All I think about is money. I'm addicted to the money. Hey, ain't no one gonna take it from me. Hey, or else I get the dumping. Hey, please do not push my button. Stay. You know I won't go for nothing. Fuck what's how pushes in the function. Hey, now I mix the Louis with Prada. Hey, I beat the beat like the dollar. Hey, do what I do cause I got it.
I was born to win, so I get it in. Fuck you pussy niggas, I'm just stacking bread. Playing with my cake, that'll get you clapped, stuffed in the bag while y'all niggas mad. I respect the cash, I respect the trap. Cook it in the pot, whip it to a lot. I just hug the block, slinging a stone. Even in the cold, bitch, I get them gone. Young niggas snapping like a gator. Billy Belt, Trues, and some gators. Bitch, I'm on the block with my niggas. I'ma get this guap with my niggas. Same shit, ain't shit changed. Big bank, take little bank. I smoke gas, propane. Kick a nigga dope, broad day. I'ma keep it real, niggas fake. All you niggas is in the way. Forgive me, Lord, I sin every day. Broke niggas all up in my face. Fuck nigga, go get some cake. When you doing good, niggas hate. How I'm gonna stop with no brakes? I wouldn't even stop if I could.
I ain't stop, I ain't gonna fuck with you, bitch. You ain't pop, it's a purpose. It made me a profit. Now I'm mixing all man with Versace. If you don't know my struggle, don't knock you. At the top, but I came from the bottom. The bottom trying to beef with my niggas. I got the stick, I'm aiming to a noggin.
See, this for the ones that doubt it. So I'm really cooked up, I'm not. Now they got this money, I'm counting. Now these songs get wet like a fire. Trying to turn a grand back to an alley. Give me a head of the pussy, got my good brain. That bitch got this ball playing. Got me hollering.
Cash man. Man, I just got jammed up again on some bass shit. It's cool though, anytime I do, I'll be back. You know, I'm trying to see the world. Some nigga from the block, they only see the corner store, the liquor store, and back to the block, you know? There's more to this shit, man. More to life. I'm about to go to Orlando this weekend. Straight from day and I'm a flyer.
All right, we're back with Breaking Ground Radio on WTMH Live each and every Thursday. DJ Swamp Thing is out, but Tiffany L's the girl. And we were just talking to Avion Johnson about his business, Credit Reinventors. Basically getting some information on how to make your business credible so that you can get the funds that you need to invest into yourself rather than having to put it under your personal name. So got some good advice there. Now, recently you guys just had, I think it was Wednesday. What day is today? Goodness. Was it Tuesday? I know, word. That's how you know it's a long day when nobody knows what day it is. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. You guys had an event that you partnered up with. Tell us something about that. Tell us all about that event. What was the purpose of? What were your plans? And it was called Can't Stop, Won't Stop. So what was it? Tell us about that.
It was awesome. It was an awesome event. It was put together by and it was Black Hack and Rev One, and they kind of partnered with Columbus Urban League, Young Professionals, and we were just Can't Stop, Won't Stop was the Puff Daddy movie documentary. I guess it just came out Sunday. I didn't know anything about it until I got there. Like, okay, this is cool. But it was basically about Bad Boy and Puffy and how he kind of started Bad Boy, and then they focused a lot on the reunion and preparing for the reunion. It was really good actually. Just seeing Puffy as an entrepreneur and just seeing him from behind the scenes, man, that dude was relentless. Like, I don't care if you like him or don't like him or like his music or don't like his music. The respect I have for that man as a business owner is because he was all out. Like, it was awesome. So we had a panel there was 5 of us on a panel. I'm gonna forget somebody. No, it was Chris with Black Hat, Perry Jeffries from Financially Fit, Clyde. I'm not sure Clyde's last name, but Clyde works he's a branch manager at Wood Forest Bank, Ari Schottenstein, and myself. And we kind of just gave different perspective about entrepreneurship, finance and business, credit, things to look out for. How do you go from point A to point B, things like that. It was awesome. It was really awesome. We're trying to see about putting together something else like that. Hopefully pretty soon.
Was the crowd you feel like mostly people who had businesses or were looking to build a business, or what do you think?
That's funny.
Most people were looking for.
I talked to Perry today, and it was we both agreed that it was kind of hard to gauge the crowd. Like you couldn't really feel if they were receiving the information. But the feedback that we got from the coordinators was they hadn't had anybody stay that long ever. Because we were there, it was supposed to be from 6 to 9. We probably didn't get out of there till about 9:30, 9:45, and most people stayed the entire time. So good information. I couldn't really tell some business owners, maybe entrepreneurs out there, or maybe some people were there just to kind of get information and just kind of wanted to see. So it was good, great event.
Okay.
Oh, let me shout out this one company too, Refill. Have you guys ever heard of Refill? So Refill is they're like a Uber for beer and wine.
Oh my God.
So they basically bring beer and wine to you.
This is my favorite thing you've ever said, ever. Because I am often at home wishing that someone could go and get the next bottle, but I myself cannot drive to get said next bottle. Brilliant.
Two brothers, man, and they just came up with this concept. And I shout them out because one, I was so impressed with the concept and them two coming up with it and really putting it together. Rev One, if you guys are, if anybody out there is like techie and I got a great idea for an app, you definitely want to hit up Rev One to see if because they will throw money at that technology type of industry. Like they'll throw money at you, like regardless. If it's a good idea, like they'll throw money at you. So, but these brothers that they put together, like I said, it's called Refill. It's an app, you can download it. Refill, REFILL. I did download it.
Oh, like refill.
Yeah, like refill.
Oh.
I did download it. Yeah.
Word, because you need a refill on your beverage.
Like
yes. And so therefore, yes, I like that. Okay.
So I just wanted to shout them out, but because they were there and they brought, it was beer and stuff like that.
They brought samples?
They brought beer. Like
nice.
It wasn't like they brought beer, Corona. But great company, support them. Support the brothers. They got, I can't remember. I mean, you can, when you download it, you'll see how many. They don't have a whole lot of downloads, you know what I mean? But the concept is amazing, you know what I mean? Because that's the one thing that the Ubers and they won't do. They won't bring you alcohol, but they found a way to segue themselves into that corner. So it's pretty sweet. So shout out to Refill.
All right, well, next, go ahead and shout out your information. So definitely people who are looking to build their personal or business credit can get in touch with you.
So I'm at, you can go to a website. It's www.creditreinventors, REIN, V as in Victor, ENTORS.com, creditreinventors.com. Reach us. We have a Facebook page, Facebook.com/Credit Reinventors. You can search me directly, Avion Johnson. And you can call to get in contact, you can call me directly. I don't care, 614-598-4406. That's my direct number if you got any questions, concerns. I'm going to be having, I'm going to start off doing 2 webinars per month. More information. Like I didn't even touch on the cusp of, how much information I'm going to give out on these webinars. So I'm going to have 2 a month. The first and third Thursday starting in July. So the first one's going to be July 6th. So if you go to Eventbrite, it's posted on there. You can join the webinars and get some of that information and get on my mailing list and just flooding people with information about this. So
absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming to the show. We look forward to seeing you and having you again to give us some more information. I asked you personally to look up all about this Bitcoin situation and what I need to be investing in soon, because once you start building your credit, the next step I think is to go ahead and start getting into stocks and securing some of that money, so that we can start building generational wealth so that we can pass it on. Those are my thoughts. So I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into our next segment of Fit and Fab. Why is it so important for us to, now we talked about getting our spread it healthy, we need to get our bodies healthy. And you know, health is not just about what you're putting into your mouth, but it's also what you're doing with your body. And so we have fitness guru Todd Harper here to give us some insight on that. So welcome to the show.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna break some things down real quick. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is fitness in the African American community. You know, we are in a situation, especially right now, and it's kind of been that way, where you know, lower income communities, physical education, when it comes to the schools, a lot of times that's getting cut out of school programs, and also when you consider the green space that you have in urban communities, that's a lot smaller than what you would have in suburbs. Okay, so the level of physical fitness in those areas is going to be less. I mean, if you live in New Albany, you can go jogging around your neighborhood, you feel comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you live downtown Columbus, you live off of, you know, Main and Kelton, for a jog down the street. No, I mean, first of all, you know, I'm not gonna get into that. But I was gonna say, first of all, you might catch a hot one running down the street, like trying to get some exercise. So I ain't gonna go into that, but that's true.
So the gym for those people,
right. So you need a gym, all right. You know, you got gym memberships that you can get. You know, $15-$20 a month. I hear a lot of people complaining, like, "Oh man, gym memberships are crazy right now." They're really not. Like, they're probably cheaper than they've ever been. But you know, because of the factors I brought up just a few minutes ago, you know, African Americans, especially in, when I say African Americans, I mean not just Black folks. I also mean just minorities as a whole. We're underserved when it comes to fitness, and also one of my biggest issues as a personal trainer when it comes to fitness, though, is just the fact that it's very hard to sell fitness in a Black community, because the level of interest just really isn't there. Like in the Black community, most people were like, you know, when they anyway, in the Black community, you just it's not a necessity. It's not looked at as a necessity. You know, if you've got obesity, a lot of times, especially in the minority community, is so normal that people don't think it's a big issue, which is why, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm big boned, I'm this, I'm that." There's no such thing. So there's no such thing as big bone. You know, there's nobody's bones. If you weigh 300 pounds, your bones are no bigger than somebody who weighs 200 pounds. That's your same age. It's really, that's just, you know, kind of a myth that's made up. So also, when you live in a suburban, and when you live in an inner city area, an underserved community, there's a lack of, but the food quality is not the same. So if you're going to, you know, you can go to Aldi's has fairly good food. You can go to like Food Giant, things like that. I'm not from here, so I'm probably gonna throw out some names that you guys are not familiar with. But you know, if you go to Kroger, you're gonna get, you know, fairly good quality food. But when it comes to fitness, a lot of people think that you need to, if you're gonna work out, that you need to spend a ridiculous amount of money going to Trader Joe's and places like that. That's definitely not the case. You just need to put the canned food down, fresh vegetables, frozen vegetables, and eat fast food alone. Drink plenty of water, exercise on a consistent basis, and, you know, we'll all be healthier.
Now, what's the issue with canned vegetables? Because I myself kind of know, and I actually have stopped buying those just because once I realized that frozen vegetables were, you know, quote unquote healthier, but I never really got too much information other than, is it the sodium?
Yeah.
And the sodium inside the cans that's killing us.
Yes, sodium is the biggest issue. And sodium has been an issue forever for Black folks. I mean, you think about it, we put seasoning salt on everything, right?
Word.
And salt, period, on everything. Nature seasoning on everything. And that's
Lowry's.
not Lowry's. There you go.
Adobo.
Lowry's.
And an adobo, right?
Lowry's and adobo. So if you're putting that on all your food, I mean, there's different ways to season your foods to give it that same flavor and not put that, not put that sodium in your body. So, you know, I can give some, I'll probably give some examples of that later on. But there's so many. If the emphasis that we have as minorities, if we had the same emphasis on fitness as our Caucasian counterparts, it would be easier. We would be healthier. But like I said, one of the biggest issues is a lot of times in the inner city communities, physical education is getting cut out of school system. So, and that is a huge issue because they're thinking, honestly, they look at it like, well, if you want the education to be better, well, we might have to cut a couple of things. So we're going to cut, some things that honestly, a lot of times in those same communities, they may say, hey, I'd rather my kid be better educated than worry about fitness. So let's put the money in education, and we'll do this at home. We'll go to the local park system and we'll set our kids up, stuff like that. But that takes time. That takes energy.
And it's rare that it happens.
Unfortunately.
And actually, as a teacher, I can attest to that. Like, I have worked at many a school where the kids had a total of 40 minutes, and the 40 minutes was 20 minutes of eating and 20 minutes of quote unquote recess. Yeah. And I don't know how much things you think you can get accomplished in 20 minutes, but as a teacher, that was the same amount of break that I was given to make copies, eat food, go to the bathroom, and it is not enough. Oh, pick my kids up, drop my kids off. It's not enough time to get anything done, let alone for these kids to get quality physical fitness in or have any kind of like downtime in between classes. And I think that has long since been the downfall of where they think, inner city education, is the test scores are down. So let's put them in school for an extended day, which means basically the child wakes up, goes to school all day long, comes home, eats dinner, goes to bed, and starts all over again without any time to process in between. And I noticed, I am, being an educator, I made sure that, of course, my daughter was in the best school system that I could put her in. So she was in Gahanna schools, and the difference, the vast difference in like the amount of space that a school has, where they just have like the one jungle gym situation on a blacktop, no grass whatsoever. Whereas my daughter went to a school where they literally had an open field along with a huge, jungle gym system, a whole basketball court, a tennis court, all of these things. And the kids had 40 minutes, not including eating time, to go do their thing. They could go out as far as the trees and everything. And they heard that whistle, they knew to come back, and it was all good. But I know, that's definitely not in the resources in the budget, or they say it's not, in a lot of inner city schools, and that's quite a shame. So
it is, and that's why, one of the things that I thank God for is that I'm able to put my kids in a private school, because without that way, I don't really have to. I'm not really fighting with that. Like, that's difficult. Like, I've seen how difficult it is. I've known people that are phys ed teachers that are trying to do stuff with the kids, and honestly, the school's not giving them the proper amount of support. They're not giving them proper tools. They're not giving them the proper amount of time. You can't, without the proper amount of tools, time, energy, and support, you can't really do too much. And honestly, if the parents aren't, if the parents aren't putting the value on physical education, when the kids get to school, they're not going to value it. To be honest with you, there were times when I was growing up where we all goofed off during recess and stuff like that, and whoever the phys ed teacher is trying to get us doing jumping jacks, and we're running around playing, tag or whatever. But we had room, we had space to do these things. And one of the other things I want to bring up is, you've got a lot of charter schools, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with charter school, but the issue, like for example, my son in Atlanta goes to a charter school. He's a basketball player and a football player, right? So the charter schools, a lot of these charter schools do not have basketball courts. They don't have gymnasiums. They don't have anything. They don't have a baseball field, nothing. So that's another thing that's going on now that's making it difficult for physical education in the school system, because you see, you know, people are taking their trust out of the public school system and putting it more into charter school programs. But the charter school programs can't provide all the things physically that a child needs. You might have a better education and a safer environment, but you know, the activity levels.
And even put that in quotations,
yeah,
because that's not even something that they can certainly attest to at all. Either.
Exactly, it's an issue. I mean, there's so many different factors at play here, and then you know, let's talk about adults. When it comes to dealing with adults in the fitness industry, that's difficult as well, because once again, you know, the premium is not the premium is not put on exercise. Like, people are not really worried about it. They're like, oh, I'll exercise, I'll get a gym membership, you know, when tax time comes. I'm gonna go ahead and just pay all up for a year. No, you're not.
That tax time, man, we got dibs on the tax money. We always talking about what we gonna do with that tax money, boy.
You got tax money, you running a business and stuff. You need to talk to my man over here. You need to talk to somebody that's gonna help you get your money to grow. Like, it's not, you know, but fitness is just not, you know, for example, like, seriously, right now, if you go to Gahanna, how many people are you going to see running down even Hamilton Road, Johnstown Road, anywhere in Gahanna, they're going to be running. New Albany, running. Dublin, running. Like, everybody's exercising. You even go, now you go to, for us in our area, you go to Blackman Park. I mean, some people out there running and doing some things, and that's a good thing. But honestly, we're as a personal trainer, as a fitness professional, like, I go to the park and I look, and we're horribly underrepresented. And it's just, like I said, that people just don't put that much. They don't think that it's a big issue. But then we're dealing with diabetes, heart disease. You got family members dying every single year, and you're wondering why. Well, oh, my aunt, da, da, da. But that aunt that just died of heart disease is the one that you know, you went to her house every Sunday to eat, and you knew there was a problem there. You know, grandma's, you know, she's cooking dinner on Sunday and she don't get up out of that chair. You know, she'll fry that chicken, put it in the batter, sit in the chair the whole time, just have all her bowls where she needs them. Have the frying pan right over here. You know, I've seen it happen. You know, battering it up over here and making it happen. But and that's all well and good, but it's just not. We're not putting the emphasis on health. We're not putting the emphasis on eating healthy. We're not putting the emphasis on. So one of the things you asked earlier. So let's talk about percentages. So 70%. Let's say somebody's trying to lose weight. 70% of your weight loss is going to come from diet. 70%. So 30% is going to come from your actual physical activity. So people can lose weight. When people say, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that, you really don't need to. You really don't. Just to start the process, you don't need to. If you start eating right, and by eating right, I mean like 6 small meals a day. You're not eating the way we eat, and I'm just talking about us as Americans as a whole. If you notice, when you go to Europe, you go to Europe and you will order some food. You ever notice in Europe the plates are smaller? Like,
all the time.
You look at the meals and you're like, man, what the hell I'm about to do with this, right? They know. Like, and they know. Like, you look around and you see a whole bunch of skinny people walking around, happy and yelling and screaming like they're excited because they have energy, because they're eating small meals. Yeah, you might pay $30 for this plate right here. To us, we may think, man, I'm not about to pay $30 for this bull crap. But they're gonna go and they're gonna continue. So they're gonna eat that, then they're gonna eat some vegetables, then they're gonna eat some fruit all throughout the day, and they're gonna keep eating those small meals every single day to keep their metabolism burning. If you don't keep your metabolism burning, if you eat one huge meal for breakfast, one huge meal for lunch, and one huge meal for dinner, and it's the majority of it is carbs, which is honestly what's going on with most people. If you're inactive and the majority of what you eat is carbs, you're putting on weight every single day. Every day.
So I mean, well, I definitely hear you saying that a lot of people don't put the emphasis on fitness and the importance, but what do those people what about those people who really do feel like it is important, but they don't know where to get started? Like, give me like 3 good things that like I can make these quick and easy changes to my diet or my daily fitness, and throw in 10 minutes of push-ups here or a couple of jumping jacks or whatever, because I don't have that much time. Maybe I work 2 jobs. Maybe these kids is driving me crazy. Maybe I don't got no space in my house to get anything done. So what can I do to make some quick changes to start making the turnaround?
Okay, so a couple of things you could do when it comes to dieting is manage your diet to the point where if you're whatever time you're most active, that's the time where you want to eat your carbs. Whatever time you're least active, or the time you want to minimize your carbs. So you don't want to eat a carb heavy meal. Like honestly, like let's say you're doing spaghetti and Italian bread or something like that. You do not want to eat that for dinner if you know that in 30 minutes you're going to be asleep. If you're going to eat that at 6 o'clock and you're not going to bed till 10, you've got a million other things to do, you might be okay. But I would still recommend you not doing that at night. I would recommend if you want to eat fairly carb heavy, eat it in the morning. You've got all day to burn it off. If you've got a sedentary lifestyle and you sit a lot at work, same thing. You really want to minimize your carbs then, because your carbs turn into sugar turns into insulin, like all these things, all these processes are going on in your body. And the body is like the most perfect machine that was ever made. And if we could follow the instructions to keep it a well-oiled machine, it would operate the way we need it to. But to be honest with you, you've got so many things being thrown at you when you're watching TV. You got McDonald's commercials, Burger King, this and this and that. Like you're watching that stuff all day, and it makes it even more difficult for you to eat healthy. So you talk about exercise. So let's say somebody wakes up in the morning, don't have a lot of time. You got to get your kids to school, drop them off, then you got to go straight to work, right? So if that's the case, when you get up in the morning, you want to eat something fairly light, but you can get up, let's say, I'll just give you a quick circuit. So let's say 50 jump jacks, 30 squats, 20 push-ups, and for the gentlemen, get all the way out there, get the legs straight out there. For the ladies, you can get down, do the modified push-ups, and you don't want to do the push-ups on your knees. When you're doing modified push-ups, lay down on your stomach, put your hands out, have your legs crossed behind you, and push up. You're not pushing up off your knees. You want to protect your joints at all times. So you're actually using your quads. You've got the weight. You're pushing off of your quads. So you're pushing with your triceps and your biceps. You're working your back. You're working your shoulders. You're working your chest the entire time, and you're protecting your joints.
So we can get that in a quick 15, 20 minutes, yeah. and that'll start turning things around.
Yeah, and then you could do say you do like 3 rounds of that. And honestly, if you do something like that and your kids see you doing it, a lot of times they're gonna be like, "What you doing?" And maybe they're in school. Maybe they play basketball in school, and they'll be like, "Mom, you want to work out? Let's do these suicides like Coach has us doing in basketball." Those things help too. So it doesn't always have to be cardio. It doesn't always have to be weights. It has to be a mixture.
Okay.
You gotta create a happy medium.
Excellent. All right. Well, you gave us some good things to start off with, and I definitely plan on having you back to give us some more. Maybe we can even come up with like a segment where we touch on different things each time. Like today, we're touching on sugars. Next week, carbs. Absolutely. So we can say what things can we eat, what things can we not eat. We've heard some good things. We know we shouldn't be eating those. I saw Jolly Rancher Pop-Tarts that they were marketing to children, and I got so disgusted and upset. And my kids sing the little jingle, and I was like, it will never happen. It will never happen in this house. So it's too much. They're definitely doing too much. So we look forward to hearing more from you on that. So we talked about getting our credit right. We talked about building our business. We talked about getting our body right. We look forward to hearing some more good things next week on Breaking Ground Radio. It's been a great episode. Tiffany L, DJ Swamp Thing, and we are out.